Greetings, Roller Derby fans. Welcome to the WFTDA remote studio. I am Scott Chicken. I am joined by Cakes in Chicagoland, Hazenberg in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I forgot to mention I'm in Seattle, Washington. And this is all coming to you courtesy of the WFTDA remote studio from WFTDA Broadcasting. We are going to be talking tonight about Return of the Living Derby, Denver and Rockies Halloween mashup and fundraiser, live right here on Twitch. Cakes, what's going on with this bout?
Oh my goodness, I am so excited for this bout. It's Night of the Living Derby with Rocky and Denver. It's a Halloween mashup of all these athletes that are coming together, and they're just going to do a little hodgepodge, a little ghouly, thing, like cauldron of crazy, I don't know, whatever you want to alliteration with that. But it's great because both these teams are a mix-up of Rocky Mountain and Denver Roller Derby humans, comprised of women, non-binary, and gender non-conforming athletes. So we're really excited to have this game matchup starting first with Team Bats taking on Team Mummies.
And Hazenberg, anything I don't know why I'm acting like the moderator here, but apparently I am. So
1, 2, 3, not it.
What you got to add? Anything? Any exciting?
This is the first streamed North American game since the beginning of the pandemic. It's not the first game that's been happening because my own league, Red Stick Roller Derby in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, has returned to live play as of last week. We're starting our home team season. And we had an epic, super close game last weekend. It's a 12-point difference at the end, 2-point difference at halftime. If I hadn't had to talk about it on a microphone, I probably would have been sitting there having a little heart attack.
Well, that is awesome, and I'm excited to be back talking about North American Derby. We've done some of these remote studios out of Australia and New Zealand, but it's almost my time zone, and that feels really weird that I'm talking about something like the evening it's happening and not the day before by my clock. All right, so what was our first game? Is Bats versus Mummies. Cakes, you want to take us through the? This looks like Mummies doing their intros, but we'll just rip through the Bats as well.
Oh yeah, that sounds great. So skating for the Bats, we have it 077 Cherry, 100 is Badass, number 11 Chibi, number 1337 Clitoris, number 23 Woody, 267 Sweet Destroyer, number 49 Chakilski, number 89 Reign of Tarot, and then we have 99 Make You Pay, number 420 Chi Tong. Then we have 737 Daisy Danger. 33 is Tacos. Number 7 is X. Number 617 is Harper's Bazaar. Number 0425 Yoli. Number 64 is Vinny. And their coach is Hoj.
And for the Mummies in white, we've got number 10, Unprotected Lex, 16, Southern Discomfort, number 17, Mistress Terrible, number 19 is Hysteria, 26, Blazin, number 40, Speedlejuice, 88, Cosmo, 151 is Smash, 313, Rambo, 408, Postal Cervix, number 768, Sonic, 777, Miserable, 818, Dynamite, and 1337, Jackie Lope, and they are coached by Chet.
And our officials this evening, we have our head ref as Spicy. The IPR is She Who Cannot Be Named. Jam ref is Ginger Spice. Other jam ref is Ruth Slater Ginsburg. OPRs are Ferguson, Kat Sargent, Sassy Biatch. Our alt is Veeder. And our non-skating officials is Talia. Penalty box timers are Stacy, Blanche, and Zookeeper is our manager. Our scorekeeper tonight is Bonnie Bruiser and California, or Killy for short. Our scoreboard operator is Darth Thader. And our PTs are Radar and Featherstone. Penalty Wrangler, Loud Llama. And our alt is Wes Slambroson. And Daryl.
I said they're clearly
in Denver.
Yeah.
Head over to the Denver and Rocky websites to donate directly or purchase merch. Donations go straight to warehouse rent and upkeep. It's been a long 2 years, and a lot of leagues out there are fighting to survive. Denver, unfortunately, is no different. So every dollar that you can give them helps them out.
Yes, all their ticket sales for this going towards their helping support the leagues, which is great, and it's awesome that they sold it out.
Yeah, this game, just the ticket sales went so quickly, and they had to basically, refer people to our live stream. So we're really excited that you're here visiting with us on Twitch, and we are looking forward to checking our chats and giving shout outs as they become available.
And we can give a shout out right now to Tacos for the Bats because they are out and lead Jammer as we're underway for the first broadcasted streamed, at least here on Twitch TV with WFTDA, roller derby bout from North America. Tacos.
Yeah, Tacos making that whole pack play very quickly. I haven't seen fast derby like this in a minute.
That was a quick out, taken down with a nice little shoulder check. Grabs 2 points, calls off the jam, and we will reset. And I think is that 818 Dynamite maybe jamming for the Mummies. I don't know. I see a 1 and an 8. My eyes aren't what they used to be, or it could be the monitor. I'm going to blame the monitor. We'll go with that.
You know what? Yeah. I'm just going to say I have bat vision and I can't see anything. I'm just using my sonar to just hope that I get the right angles here.
That is perfect.
No, bat cakes.
It is, in fact, 818 Dynamite jamming for the Mummies and out as the lead jammer. Yoli with the star for the Bats. But Dynamite, cutting across the side, grabs the 4 points. Out quickly
yeah,
as...
This pack just...
Go
ahead.
I was just saying, Yoli finally out, but... This is the joys of the remote studio where there's this little pause where nobody knows what's happening.
We got to work on our telepathic powers, but you know what?
Yes.
That's okay because it's really exciting so far. I mean, everything's going so fast, and it doesn't seem like that there's too much holdup in this space so far. They're playing really quickly. In the second jam, they were just sitting in the straightaway, so it's just exciting overall.
It is, and 8 points for the Mummies, giving them the lead, 8-2. But very quickly, X for the Bats flaps around the outside to grab lead jammer in jam number 3. The Mummies jammer also clear. Didn't catch the number on that one, I'm afraid, but we will perhaps catch up. However, jam is called off. We'll wait for
Mummy's making room in that coffin up in turn 2. So they did a really good job opening up room very quickly for the Bats to sneak on through.
They did, and stole a point as well. A 1-0 Mummies run with Bats with lead jammer. So 9-2 as we roll towards jam 4. Cosmo with the star for the Mummies. Oh, well, maybe Vinny, according to that.
I don't trust it, Scott.
I don't either. I think Vinny is that's the bad. But I'm looking at the wrong line. See, I can't judge the color. Apparently, I've had some sort of invert in my brain. Yes, Vinny jamming for the Bats, Cosmo for the Mummies. Now I have my rosters in the correct order. And Vinny is lead jammer, coming in on that first scoring pass, dumping around the outside. But Cosmo cuts on the in with a wide open lane.
Yeah, the Bats doing a great job keeping together on that. I want to say the outside turn number 4, lanes 3 and 4, just really kind of trapping the Mummies, or just unraveling what their strategy is right there.
These Mummies are surprisingly not dragging little bits of fabric all around. I mean, the coach clearly was earlier, but they're keeping it together well. Harper Bazaar with the star for the Bats, and yes, that did rhyme unintentionally. And out and lead jammer as well, as the Mummies now leading 12-4. See if I can catch. Not going to be able to figure out what that number is for the Mummies jammer. Jam is called off well before the Mummies were able to reach the back, I believe. And yes, indeed, a 2-0 run for the Bats.
Yeah, 50%. So 6-12 in favor of the Mummies. We're at 15 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the first half.
Yes, these games are running 2 20-minute halves rather than the standard 30. And I'm not sure what variety of mad scientist just walked by, but I'm now frightened.
I'm waiting for him to yell, Pickle Rick! All right. Mummies,
Taco.
I do have that.
Lubba,
is it
lubba,
Taco?
That is Dynamite jamming for the Mummies and grabbing lead, I believe, for the second time in the game and picking up some points quickly. Tacos with the star for the Bats. May be in the penalty box because I don't see a jammer out there right now.
Yes, there is one
Okay.
person in the penalty box.
All right. Got a little hop over an ankle there to add 4 more points to the Mummies' path. As Dynamite now going to the outside, cuts back in. Oh, nicely evaded as the Bats jammer returns to the track. And a 12-0 run for the Mummies.
Now, that went by really quick.
It did.
If you'd like to become a sponsor of the Roller Dome, this wonderful arena we're having a game in, just email hello@therollerdome.org.
All right. I will consider that. Smash jamming for the Mummies. Yoli with the star for the Bats. And Smash is out and lead jammer. Yoli giving chase. As Smash rolls toward the pack, the Mummies sort of doing a little passive aggression there, holding the pack back and then rolling forward to open things up. And we got 4 more Mummy points up, 28-6. And don't forget, Twitch fam, there is the Twitch chat going on. And it's good to see everyone greeting each other. And also the conversation about Derby names on Twitch. Always tricky. Which username do you use on which platform? All right, we got number 7X with the star for the Mummies. 17, Mistress Terrible, I believe, jamming for the Mummies, and X jamming for the Bats. But Mistress Terrible is the lead jammer, unless I misread the number. Let's see. Either way, they're calling off the jam after grabbing a quick 4 points.
Kinks is having some technical difficulties here.
All right, well, I'll just keep talking then. Thank you, Hazenberg, for weighing in. Well, I'm finding it fun, and I don't know if those watching at home, it's such a different experience watching Derby on the screen and also announcing about Derby, because normally I'm in the venue and can just turn my head and look wherever, and now we're just locked into what the camera wants to show.
Mummy's doing an awesome job setting up that outside lane and congealing towards lane number 1, holding back Vinny. Mummies take that lead.
Yes, indeed. And Vinny, as you mentioned, held up in the pack as the Mummies jammer, whose number I did not catch, just pushes through, grabs the 4 points. And now rolling back around again. And star pass, our first star pass of the game for the Bats, as the jam called off by your Mummies lead jammer. 4 points on that first pass. Any extra? No, looking like a 4-0 run. Oh, there it goes, 3-7 to nothing now. 39-6. The Mummies leading the Bats with just under 11 minutes to go in this first period. Dynamite back out with the star for the Mummies.
The Mummy's doing a great job of keeping the Bats jammers all wrapped up. preventing them from scoring.
Yes. And as you say that, Tacos out quickly and grabs first lead for the Bats in quite some time, and the Pack's spreading out. One defender to try and stop Tacos, but it was in fact Taco Night. Tacos calls off the jam, collects the 4 points, taking the Bats to 10.
I would hate to see how this looks like once we do the Mummy's return. I mean, this is pretty vicious so far.
That it is. Oh, Mummies. Mummies, what are they returning from even? Mistress Terrible, I believe, is going to be jamming for the Mummies. And I think that's Harper Bazaar with the star for the Bats, and Harper Bazaar out quickly and is lead jammer. As as the pivot for the Mummies ends up forced into the infield, and I'm guessing that Mistress Terrible is off to the penalty box.
I really like how Miserabel and Chakilski are doing a great job trying to round up go one player into the back of the pack, so it makes less work for Harper Bazaar to get through.
Yeah, and on the power jam, always very important to, if you can't contain, at least slow as much as possible. Kill all that time. But Harper Bazaar able to spin through the pack, and another Mummy heading off the track. As Mistress Terrible back out of the penalty box and trying to roll through. This is the initial pass, now has the cap in hand as Harper Bazaar rolls up another set of points. Mistress Terrible pushes through. Puts the helmet cover back on, and Harper just continuing to roll. It's Mistress Terrible bumping to the inside, forced out of bounds. It's a little shoulder from Chykilski. As Harper Bazaar now 24 points, rolling through, taking this to a 5-point game as 21 seconds left on the jam clock, and another 4 going up as Harper Bazaar just more than happy to run.
How bizarre.
Yeah.
How bizarre.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Almost overtaking now a 28-point jam for the Bats, and they close that gap to a 2-point game now. So the Bats are coming out of the cave super hot, and the Mummies are going to have to, contain, use their wraps. I don't know what they're. What do you guys think they're going to do?
Some sort of maybe they can weave some sort of net out of the mummy wrap.
Points, and they're going to need to put a bandage on it.
There's the line. Isenberg comes through. Yoli also comes through the pack and grabs lead jammer for the Bats. As our Mummies jammer, whose number again didn't catch, is also through and on a scoring pass. Yoli actually blocked by their own pivot. That was I like the clear conversation going, I don't know what I was doing. I'm sorry I jumped in your way.
Now we have a tie game here, guys. Oh my goodness, 41 apiece, and a nice pack advantage going into jam, I believe 13, for the Bats. As 2 are in the box for the Mummies.
And dance party at the jammer line. So I believe that's X. Number 7 with the star for the Bats and tries to hop, but just lands on the line. Can't get through, but then waved back in and then set off for the cut track. You got to come back. Just because it's been 2 years since the last game you played doesn't mean that cut track doesn't still exist. Smash is the jammer for the Mummies and is clear. Not lead jammer as there is none now. And we will go for the full 2 minutes.
We might be about to have a lead change social.
Almost.
And
well,
I believe
it's tied and Mummy's coming back on top, so.
I don't know. I believe it was a return to play guidelines, not return to track guidelines, Mr. Scott. So I think it's just, whatever the dealer's choice here.
You would think. Could be. I don't know. Maybe that might be true in Las Vegas. Could be a rule shift for the next RollerCon, maybe.
I like the way you think, man.
Mummies now back in the lead with an 8-point jam, now adding some more as Smash pushes up the outside to add 4 more to the mix. But X is out of the penalty box and given chase, and now in front. As, X got a little 12-point gap to make up, so what the heck, Smash can slow it a little, wait for the pack to catch up. Both jammers around the outside edge. Attempt for the block, but not able to make contact, and 26 seconds rolling through, 16-4 lead on the jam. Mummies up 57-45 as we tick down to 20 seconds to go in this jam, under 5 minutes and a half. And everyone falling to the ground practically on that last little swing through. X has to recycle towards the back, Smash pushing on the outside. One skater to beat and does dodge past. I think that was Sweet Destroyer perhaps with that last check. Didn't quite catch the number. And jam comes to an end, 20-5.
Rough jam.
Whew, yeah.
That was tough. Yeah, like you said, Scott, 20-5. So that brings the Mummies up to 61, the Bats to 46. And I believe we're going to get a team timeout. We'll see where it goes. Stops the clock at 4 minutes and 8 seconds remaining in the first half. I believe Tchaikovsky is trying to give us some direction here, and we do have our chat kind of popping up here on our screen, giving some shout-outs. You guys have any shout-outs to give while we're talking about it?
I see a full-on hype train happening in the chat right now as 5on5 Media is gifting a ton of subscriptions to folks.
Yes.
And I do have a shout out, actually. I want to shout out to Death and Glory. Denver and Rock, you're happy to welcome back Death and Glory Skate Shop as a warehouse sponsor for 2021. Death and Glory is a skate shop located in Denver, Colorado. You can find them online at deathandgloryskate.com.
Shout out to Derby Twitter. Yeah, Power, I couldn't even see it. Went so fast. Hi, Leslie. No, how are you all doing? I'm so glad that you're all watching the stream with us. This is so exciting.
And it's not the middle of the night like it was with Australia. Or middle of the night for us in North America. It's perhaps the middle of the night if someone's watching from Australia. If you're watching us in Australia, throw that up on the Twitch chat. We all watched your games all the time. But now we're back at it with Vinny jamming for the Mummies. And I think that's 8-18 Dynamite with the star. Or I'm sorry, Dynamite for the Mummies, Vinny for the Bats. And Dynamite is out and lead, but Vinny close behind and giving chase. As the pack has been kind of spreading out and then coming back together a fair amount, and we're rolling around into turn 4 as Dynamite bumped out of bounds, calls off the jam.
Yeah, I believe that's due to the Mummies just stretching out all their tapes and wraps, really trying to figure out how to put together those nets for the Bats.
Yes. So then you get the pack definition question. If your Mummy outfit is like 10 feet long, where are you ruling where the pack is? If you're stretching, is it? I guess it's from the hips, and so your hips aren't as wide as the wrap, are they? I don't know. I'm trying to think if there's some extra way.
Those hips don't lie. The hips don't lie. Mummies, I don't think Mummies can lie. They're like undead, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, they're still duking it out here in turns 1 and 2, right at that top, just past the apex. And Scott, it's just getting bananas.
It is indeed, and power jam for Tacos and the Bats. As I'm guessing that Dynamite picked up a penalty at the. Might have been right at the end of that last jam and starting in the box and now out and rolling towards the pack. But Tacos through with first and second pass, so we're now 62-54. But Dynamite in and out very quickly on that initial as the Bats. Oh, big jump over the pack. Checks. Did I land? Yes, I did land legally. And calls off the jam.
Taco Supreme right there in turn number 4. Delicious for everybody involved. And I believe we're going to get another timeout, stopping the clock at 1 minute and 59 seconds remaining in this first half. Mummies 62, Bats 58. Nice 12-point run for the Bats.
Very nice 12-point run. PR
Taco
Armageddon liked the
Supreme.
Taco Supreme comment, yes. Hey, PR, how's
Big
it
shout
going?
out to my mic partner, P. Armageddon. And to all of Derby Twitter.
Katie Berger
Ooh.
saying this is the greatest moment in sports. And I got to agree. I mean, just having live Derby back is just amazing. We announced earlier that this is the first live stream for the North American Derby folk. So we're really happy that you could join us.
Looks like Stats are calling their official review.
Ah. Now, is it just me, or does the Mummies coach sort of look like a mummy version of Elvis right now?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe I'm just getting,
like
a little...
popping that collar.
Yeah, exactly. A little Hubba Hubba vibe going. It's like Bubba Hotep, only slightly different.
I was thinking about that myself, actually.
I'm enjoying the mummy maneuvers. That's quality.
Hey, if your league's looking to get back into it, WFTDA has published new COVID-19 safety guidelines to support leagues in returning to play. Check them out at community.wftda.org. Guidelines being updated frequently in response to changing conditions and regional guidelines.
Yeah, the return to play. The return to play guidelines have been updated. So make sure you check with your WFTDA rep so we can get back on out there and get to playing. Everybody's really excited. I know that the Aurora 88s, as well as the Windy City Rollers and the Chicago Bruise Brothers, are all recruiting, and they're all starting their pods and getting into it. So huge shout out to the Chicagoland area. Really excited to have you all coming back, and just, oh my gosh, masking up and having good friends.
Mm-hmm. Same in the Seattle area. And, right. I know leagues are starting to practice. My daughter just went to her first Outcast practice the other day, although other people have been practicing since August, but she was a little late to join. So good to see people coming back.
Huge shout out to my girl Pika Bruise from Windy City Rollers. Really excited to see you on the feed. You too, PR. We're so excited. And I'm going to learn to look at a thesaurus to pick out a new word aside from excited.
Give a little love to my pal Rosie Derivator out there. What you doing, Rosie?
And I believe we have a birthday, don't we, on our Derby Twitter fam, 0.75. We want to wish you a happy birthday.
Heck yeah, happy
Not sure
birthday,
if you're in our chat,
0.75.
but we just want to say hi and happy birthday.
She's in there.
And this official review is going the distance right now, almost 4 minutes. 3 minutes and 20 seconds. I'm being over exaggerating, but
It just feels like 4 minutes.
It feels like it. I like to round up for funsies.
Yes. I see some refs coming back, so they're having conversations, gathering of the mummies and the bats, I guess, to find out what's going on. We'll see if we can get any info on what's happening.
Do you think when they fix and repair the track, they're using mummy tape?
Ooh, could hope.
Just to keep it all...
on theme.
Keep it all, Yeah. No, okay. No. I got to work on my dad jokes, too, because it's been a minute. Oh, my goodness. There's a hype train success going on in the stream chat. If you're just listening verbally, we highly recommend going to Twitch to go hang out in our chat. We'd love to have you get shout outs and let us know what you're thinking. How's the feed? How are all the players? Do you have any players that are skating that you're rooting for? Again, this is a mix up of Denver and Rocky. So this is a great way for neighbors to come together and get back to skating. We're really happy to have you. I'm Cakes, Scott Chicken, and Hazenberg. We're really just stoked as we reach this 5-minute official review.
Totes stoked, bro. Totes.
This is the longest OR I've ever seen.
And it followed quickly by a dash through the pack by the mummies to grab lead jammer. And Skater, I should have figured out who it was by now, because I'm like, oh, it's that tank top that I can't read the number on the back of. Well, Harper Bazaar is jamming for the Bats. We have a 62-58 game currently with 1:30 to go in the half. And 4 points up for the Mummies, 66-58 now.
All right, I have an update about that official review.
Yes. Thank you.
Pivot was assessed a second penalty for leaving the box 3 seconds early. It looks like Bats did not retain their review because I don't see it on the scoreboard anymore, so that means the call stands.
Can't leave early.
Wow.
That, again, not a return to track policy.
Plot thickens.
Totally.
Yeah, and as we head into jam number
Like my day
17, the Mummies do have a pack advantage. One is in the box for the Bats.
And quickly out of the box and screaming back onto the track. That was 1337 Glitterous.
This will likely be the final jam of the first half.
I think you might be the case. Yoli is your lead jammer for the Bats. Mummies jammer also clear. As we're down... the period clock is now stopped on the screen. So who knows how much time is left. We are all skating on borrowed time. Jam
Someone put
called
a
off.
spell on it.
Yes. There are no witches, wizards, or magicians in this game. I don't know. Can mummies cast spells? Maybe they can. Oh, who knows? 9 seconds and ticking on the period clock. We slowly roll towards halftime.
Not sure if we're going to be going into intermission or the hands are going up. Everybody's looking like maybe. Mummies are at 66. The Bats are at 61. And I believe they are going to their respective hangout spots. Back to the cave or whatnot.
The sarcophagus. I wonder, do the mummies all have individual sarcophagi or are they in one giant one? Clearly we need the camera to turn to the left so we can serve something.
They have an entire pyramid. It's just parked out behind the roller dome.
Parked. I like it. A pyramidal RV. All right. On that note, I think we're going to take a little bit of a break because I know I need to get some more water. But we'll be back. Intermission is 20 minutes. We'll be back in, 15 or something and come back and talk to you guys more. You are watching the WFTDA broadcast, twitch.tv, courtesy of the WFTDA remote studio. And we'll, as I said, be back in like 10, 15 minutes. Hey, we're back.
Welcome back.
I have Scott Chicken. She is Cakes. He is Hazenberg. Going top to bottom on my screen, at least. Hopefully it's the same for everyone else. And welcome back to this wondrous Rocky Mountain and Denver Roller Derby mashup. Return of the Derby? See, I lost my note. I don't have my notes in front of me, so I don't have the official name. Cakes, you had the official name earlier because you're smarter and more prepared than me.
I don't know about all that, but I'll take it. So it's the Night of the Living Derby. So we're really excited to have you here and enjoy it. We have a mix-up of the Rocky Mountain Roller Girls and Denver. We are coming to you live from Denver, Colorado, and this is hosted by the Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. And we have, like I said, a mix-up of Rocky Mountain and Denver Roller Derby for this first game, which is the Bats versus the Mummies. So you're coming back in live, and we have the Mummies at 66, Bats at 61. Still very close game. We are so excited. We want to give a shout out to our Twitch live stream chat box. Mm-hmm. And so how's everybody feeling? Hazenberg, how are you feeling about this game? Do you have any shout outs you want to mention?
This has been incredible so far. Not right off the top of my head, but I did want to talk about how mashup games like this are almost never this close. So getting to see a game with such a tight point margin shows how well balanced the team rosters are.
Yes, and in that first half, it was the Mummies taking off, and then the Bats come back with a 28-point jam that apparently on Twitch, if you weren't subscribed, which you can do through your Amazon Prime account if you have one of those, you missed because of an ad break. But don't worry, if you want to watch that later, this will roll over to the WFTDA's YouTube channel later this week, or technically next week because the week starts on Sunday. So there's our multi-platform plug for WFTDA broadcast.
And you can always subscribe and get notifications if you want to watch everything on YouTube. You can also favorite WFTDA on your Twitch platform to enjoy and get alerts when we are going live. So all that fun stuff's available. Make sure you're just letting your friends know if you have a favorite in the crowd. We'd love to shout them out. Also, let us know if you're in the chat specifically for Twitch. We want to know how you're doing as far as return to play, what you think about this game. If you still have a space, we want to make sure we give shout outs to anybody who is looking for space. I know a lot of leagues are in that predicament right now, and we want to make sure that we vocalize all that so we can get this Derby community rolling when we get everybody on the return to play platforms.
Absolutely, and if your league is coming back and you're like, hey, wish we could broadcast out so that Derby Twitter and all the Twitch audience can laugh about us, get in touch with the remote studio. Hazenberg, you probably have a plug on this, and I just jumped all on top of it, didn't I?
It's all good. Looks like we're about to start our first jam anyway, so we'll get the plugs later.
There you go. And Steffi Sparkleface, I prefer to refer to myself as a calendar pedant, but specifist works as well.
And this brings you your moment of pedantry.
Yes. Mummies versus Bats, 66-61. Mummies in the lead at the half. X with the star for the Bats, and out like a bat out of somewhere where bats come out of, and his lead jammer. Your jammer,
gosh.
I believe that was 818 Dynamite jamming for the Mummies. Mummies have the stealth name for the jammer because it's white text on a white field. But Bats coming out.
I feel like there's a missed opportunity here. We have a new Batman movie coming out, and the Bats, I don't know if they're fans
that's
of
true.
Batman or, maybe we'll find out. Let us know in the comments if you're one of those fans. I'd love to know that.
I'm not sure if I'm a fan of... Sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I just want to let everybody know that if you're coming back, we just 65-66, a 1-point game between the Mummies and the Bats. Mummies rolling it out on top so far.
And the Mummies rolling through and grabbing lead jammer, but Tacos with the star for the Bats giving chase and very close behind. I don't think a bat taco would be all that tasty, but then, who knows? Maybe it tastes like chicken. We may never know, and I don't think I want to.
I feel like you'd be the expert, wouldn't you, Mr. Scott Chicken?
Well, yeah, you maybe. I guess. Yeah, that's true. I am a carnivore, and also apparently a. See, now the words are eluding me as I'm eating my own kind. I'm not technically a chicken itself. I'm just named after one. Does that make sense? I don't think it does.
That's fair.
Bats
Bats,
however,
took the lead.
In the lead, yes. So I had a non-adult beverage in their honor. This is the first Bats lead, I believe,
social. Everybody grab your beverage and hydrate.
Yes, I think this is the first Bats lead of the game, as they got tied at one point, but Mummies did come back. And now Vinny, out as lead jammer, about to potentially add to that lead, at least mid-jam, as I think that's Dynamite with the star for the Mummies. Jam was called off. I see fingers being held towards a scoring table. And the Bats add 3, 70-66.
Yeah, the Bats doing an excellent job of maintaining that front wall position. So they're really holding the Mummies to a standstill. And I think we have a pack advantage going into jam number 4. Only 2 Mummies on the track.
Yes. And but there's also only 2 jammers, so that's a 2-to-1 blocker to jammer ratio. And it did not suffice, as the Bats jammer Yoli is out first and is lead jammer.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Mummy jammer is clear, half a lap or so behind, as Yoli is through with 4 points. And another Mummy blocker heading to the penalty box, so only 1 Mummy on the track at the moment. Once again, with the count, I'm not as good at that voice.
Good try. We appreciate the efforts. Oh my goodness, the Bats were sleeping on that one.
They were
sleeping on that last pass.
Yeah, little quick slide through. As Yoli calls off the jam, grabbed another set of points. Mummy's jammer coming through, but perhaps just after the whistle, We'll see. We're showing an 8-8 tie right now, and that will stay. 8-8 tie for the Jam, 78-74. Bats holding the lead, 16 minutes to go in this first of two mashup games.
Want to give a shout out to Lieutenant Jan on the Twitter feed. Derby Twitter fans, if you're on the
Lieutenant
Twitters,
Jan.
let me know at Derby Cake so I can give you a shout out here as we're playing this game. Thank you so much with the Bats and Mummy stream. I love that you're watching with us.
Harper Bazaar with the star for the Bats, but your Mummies are out first and lead Jammer. And rolling around as the penalty box slowly emptying out, although I still see two Mummies in that box. But 818 Dynamite rolling backwards through the pack, spinning back around. Harper Bazaar right there as the Jammers coming side by side back down the front stretch. The pack speeding up pretty well. They've been a good mix of fast pack, slow pack throughout this whole game. And in this case,
Fast
we
pack,
get
slow
a...
pack, you pack, I pack.
Thank you.
I'm just going to stop. I'm so sorry.
Cake Seuss. 5-4.
Freddy Krueger. I'm going to totally be fired after this. But I want to get it out there that this game is entirely fun. A mix up of Denver and Rocky Mountain Roller Girls together, coming together in this wonderful moment to bring back roller derby. And even though it's an exhibition bout, it's great friendly neighborhood because they're both in the Colorado area and they're just spreading their love all around, mostly with Bats and Mummy. So X has the lead there, Scott. How's it looking?
Yes, indeed. X lead Jammer, or actually X is not lead Jammer because X is heading to the penalty box.
Oh no!
Oh, it looked like X was the lead Jammer, but no, your lead Jammer is on the Mummy side of the sideline, I guess. On the Mummy bench, not on the bench at all, but out on the track. And what I'm trying to say is I didn't catch the name as they went past, but now they are through and have 4 points as X sits and now stands in the penalty box. I do like this angle because we can see the box. So your Mummy's now back in the lead, 83-82. And yes, there is a ref dressed as the Blues Clues guy. For those just noting, that is Steve from the Blues Clues on the far side of the
Steve
track.
from Blues Clues.
I'm assuming it's the right shirt, so clearly it must be. And he wants them to make sure that say that you're all doing great. As are the Mummies with their slight lead, but X, the big jump of the apex, but probably a maybe. It's hard to tell if that was too late or not. But we do have a 9-4 run for the Mummies, putting them in the lead 88-86.
Now, the Bats had a considerable moment of comeback, but unfortunately hit a little bit of penalty trouble. The Mummies, however, just finding so much penalty trouble, leaving everything out on the track. So the Bats really took advantage of it, but they seems like they're really starting to catch up and hold the line. And you can see that here. We're at a full pack moment here for Bats and Mummies.
Full, indeed. Smash with the star for the Mummies. Tacos jamming for the Bats. As Tacos cutting out and through. Tacos was lead jammer and calls off the jam. Believe before Smash could get back. So a 4-0 run and another 4-1, but a lead change again. As the Bats now up by 1 point, 90-89.
And if you're watching at home, that means we got a lead change social, so grab your beverage and hydrate.
Especially if you're a Mummy, because it doesn't seem like they, hydrate that much, Just saying.
It's tricky because, you don't want those wraps to get too wet. Vinny
Agreed.
with the star for the Bats and also with a penalty and heading to the box. So a power jam and a lead jammer for the Mummies. Think that might
And that's
be...
why Mummies don't skate in the South.
Yes, indeed. I believe that might be Cosmo with the star. I'm trying to make it out on the scoreboard, but didn't catch that number. But a little passive aggression from the Mummies blockers slowing things down to a stop and then opening up a bit of a door, allowing that jammer through. 8 points so far on the jam. 97-90.
Glitterous doing a great job holding the bats together in that tripod, Triforce that we were talking for the past few seasons. Definitely want to give her a shout out for the great efforts on the bats team.
Yes, Mummies call off the jam 99-90 after that 10-0 run. Kitty
Wow,
Burger
can you believe
calling
it?
out
10.
the...
Oh, I was just going to say there's only 10 minutes and 30 seconds left in this really, really close game. And I see a lot of Twitch shout-outs to new watchers. And I believe one of them is Shreddy Kruger. Or was it another person? Inked Dog. Very impressed with the skating with masks situation. And this is like one of the first times in North America that we've seen a game with masks played. So that's very interesting to see how it's run, and excited to see that it's up and running again.
And
Yes,
at elevation,
indeed.
no less. These skaters are tough.
Exactly. I was going to say they've got those masks that the training masks a couple of years ago that were like, oh, you can simulate at high altitude. Now it's actual masks, actual altitude, and actual roller derby with Yoli jamming for the Bats and number 818 Danny Might, star for the Mummies. Danny Might is the lead jammer and trying to fight through, and finally calls off the jam as Yoli was coming back in to play. A 4-0 run for the Mummies, taking them to 103, Bats 91.
And want to give a shout out to the COVID-19 Recovery Fund to help rebuild our community and our sport. WFTDA has established the WFTDA COVID-19 Recovery Fund. This fund will provide micro grants to leagues and other roller derby organizations to help support our community in their post-COVID roller derby recovery. Find out how to apply and if you are eligible at community.wftda.org.
I would like to call out
Game
Blanco
on.
for being crazy and saying that you should be doing wall sits while watching Derby.
Unbelievable. Inconceivable. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm excited
This
because
is
the
why-
game is back on. Harper
It is
Bazaar
indeed.
Harper Bazaar is making quick work around the track, trying to catch the Mummies' lead jammer. It's 103-91, but that might be changing here in just a few moments.
We'll see. Smash was the jammer for the Mummies and did call off the jam. But the Bats sneaking through. Harper Bazaar grabbing those 2 points, 106-93. 8:10 to go in the game. This is our first of two. Next up, in case you were wondering, we won't have to worry about zombies hydrating. The next game will be vampires versus ghosts. And if the ghosts try to hydrate, it just ends up on the floor. So that's just messy.
The vampires
Just
are
so
well
messy.
hydrated by nature.
Yes.
Jabonko asks who is Black 99. That is Make You Pay on the team Bats. So number 99 is Make You Pay, doing an excellent job blocking all the blocks.
And X doing an excellent job of avoiding the blocks on that last pass through the pack. Lead jammer for the Bats. And going airborne again. This is X's at least third apex jump, maybe 900th. I haven't been actively counting, but I did remember at least two others. And it looks like jam called possibly a little, maybe some injury. Something calling off the jam there, and we will pause as they regroup with the Mummies leading 106, but the Bats catching up with that 8-point jam. Now at 101.
Heisenberg, who do we have some shout-outs for? Maybe we have some sponsors. I know that our Twitter feed is blowing up here, and I've got a little bit of messaging going on here on Derby Twitter. Anything fun you want to report, Heisenberg? I think you're muted. Should I ad-lib you? Oh, I'm Heisenberg. I have a great beard. Oh, there we go.
Hey, that's a great.
Now you're back.
I thought there was two of us for a second. Hashtag Derby Twitter is on fire tonight. Get in on the conversation over there. And speaking of conversations, you can join the We FTDA online community, and signing up is easy. You'll be able to connect with other folks, skaters, officials, announcers, volunteers. Who'd want to hang out with me? We're returning to roller derby from near and far. Find more information at community.wftda.org. You can also check out our beginner skater program. This is roller derby. That's the name of it. It's not just me saying that thing. But we're back in the action, Sunshine.
We are tacos with the star for the Bats. But spinning around, I think that may be Cosmo. We will, again, try to catch the number. Jam called off. And 3 points up for the Bats now. A 2-point game, 106-104. 6:20 to go in our mashup game number 1 of Night of the Living Derby.
Killer V on Derby Twitter is asking, did Danny Might move to Denver? And she sees another bad alumni, Polster Cervix. Super excited that we're seeing more players out and about on the track. As we move into jam number 13, what's happening there, Scott?
Well, Danny Might jamming for the Mummies and has been sent to the penalty box for cutting the track because that continues to be a penalty. Meanwhile, Vinny is through and lead jammer for the Bats. Bats trailing by 2 with this power jam. Excellent chance for yet another social hydration opportunity. As Vinny cuts outside, bumped out, has to roll back behind the pack. The Mummies solid at the front of the line as the Bats trying to break things through. Vinny out, one skater to beat, does in fact get past. So there's 4 points, and that is your inter-jam lead change. However, Danny Might out and just doing what they've done all game long, dancing up the edge of the line and clearing through that, I believe was not a scoring run, however. As we will have jam called off by Vinny, a 4-0 Bats, 6-0, sorry, Bats run, and now a 4-point lead, 110-106.
Yeah, we'll have the next jam coming in at full strength. Both these teams don't have anybody in the box, so it's anybody's bat
Jam?
or
Anybody's
coffin
bat.
or sarcophagus. I don't know.
Oh, and both jammers going up one either side of the pack, almost out at the same time, but Smash able to sneak in just a step ahead of Yoli to grab lead jammer. As the pack now going as fast as they want. There is no rest and relaxation in this pack.
No, they are going the distance. It's almost like everybody got a Peloton during COVID or something. I don't know what's happening here.
You and I got in better shape, and all I do is yell.
Nice. Oh, 2 more points on that board there. So 108-110 Bats maintaining the lead, even though they shut out the Bats this last jam. 1 sitting in the box for the Bats. Mummies will have a pack advantage going to jam 15.
And as we roll to jam 15, 3:30 to go in this first game. Pack rolling back to the line. Cosmo with the star for the Mummies. Harper Bazaar jamming for the Bats. And both defenses doing some solid 4-wall blocking, but out first is Cosmo. But I'm not seeing a lead jammer call. I don't believe we'll see. There we come. Now
Yep.
It is Harper Bazaar. I'm like, I think there was a you're not lead indicator going on, but Cosmo says, I don't care if I'm lead or not. I'm in front, so I'm going to take some points. As Harper Bazaar also sliding through, and again, Pack's spreading out and moving quickly. Bats trying to slow things down. Gearing up to receive Cosmo, who says, oh, I can do that apex jump thing too. Lands it inbound, slides through clean.
I thought it was pretty interesting there, Harper Bazaar allowing the game to play out. There wasn't anybody in the penalty box, but that helps the clock count down a little bit as we only have 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in a 2-point game. Mummies just narrowing in that game lead there.
Yes, 118, 116. As we're down to the 2-minute warning.
We have
You have been warned.
250 people watching us on Twitch right now. What's up, all you awesome humans?
237 to be exact, unless my screen is broken. It's totally possible. I like how Danny
250 on
says,
mine.
wow. Danny says Harper putting on the Jets, so it's Harper and the Bats. Harper.
Nice.
All right, we're back to action live.
X on the bat is the lead looking like maybe we don't have a
Potentially the
lead
final
jammer yet.
jam of the game.
Potentially. We shall see how things go. X is clear. And now lead jammer. I'm like, haven't we declared it yet? Apparently not. And jam is called. As we have a downed skater on the far side of the track. So that may, yes, I see official timeout indicator, but yet the clock continues to tick. So, who knows how this will all, there we go. Now we're in timeout. 1 minute to go.
Good call. Give everybody a breather. In fact, our Twitch folks are saying, Peekaboo is mentioning, am I getting old or is Derby just getting faster? No, it's definitely getting faster. And so you're not alone in noticing that. So
yes,
a little bit faster.
I know I'm getting old though, so technically perhaps.
Oh yeah, me too.
Yeah, but this has definitely been very quick. Not a lot of just lockdown and start to push, but everyone has been doing a lot of running. Like maybe it was the Peloton. I don't know. I spent most of my time on the treadmill, but not running. So there you go. All right, we are about to roll back in. As I think that was Danny Might that has been assisted by our medical staff, and we're just about to launch one more time. I think Smash with the star for the Mummies rather. Tacos jamming for the Bats. Bat Tacos, as was mentioned in the Twitch chat. And Tacos is your lead jammer. And don't forget, this is a double header. We will have one more game coming up after this one, as we have another timeout being called. Next game I mentioned earlier is Vampires versus Ghosts. This will be feature members of Denver Roller Derby, Denver Men's Derby, and also your Rocky Mountain Roller Girls. So some of the same skaters that are in this game will be in that next one, but also some new faces.
Yeah, we'll have
Hey,
Rocky Mountain, and we'll have Denver, and we'll also have Denver Men's. So it's going to be open gender, and it's going to be really exciting to see that for the first time on our Twitch channel here.
Yes, it will be. It should be
How do you guys
an excellent.
How do you feel about Frogmouth?
I think Frogmouth is pretty cool.
I'm wearing Frogmouth
Why don't you
right
tell us
now.
about it?
Yeah, why don't you tell us more about this Frogmouth of which you speak?
Well, Frogmouth Clothing partnered with WFTDA to support the COVID-19 Recovery Fund. So 10% of all sales of products from their special, The Pack is Back Return to Play collection, are donated to the Recovery Fund to help WFTDA community members recover from the pandemic. So if you go to frogmouthclothing.com, you look for the Pack is Back Return to Play collection, which looks amazing. Like we've been flashing ads up for it, and it's just some gorgeous clothing. Get you some. Frogmouth is guaranteed to last. I think everything is reversible, so you have the black shirt and the white shirt for practice. And it benefits all of our struggling leagues out there. So get after it.
And you can head over to the Twitch chat, and there's a link conveniently dropped in.
And Kitty Burger 181
Skynet
says
is always watching.
that they have like 8 Frogmouth jerseys. Oh, and Frogmouth is feeling the love out there. We love you, Frogmouth.
I like the little heart you're doing there.
Yes, Jamanko, you're correct. Frogmouth, not a lipstick for amphibians. Although, maybe that should be another product to market. I don't know. I'm not sure how they would do frogs even have lips? That would look kind of strange, but who knows? We'll mention again, if you'd like to help sponsor the Roller Dome, this venue in which they are appearing, head over to your email. I don't know where you're heading. Go to your email and email hello@therollerdome.org. This bout for Rocky Mountain and Denver is a fundraiser. They sold out fairly quickly. I remember I saw a tweet a couple of days ago or yesterday where they had 40 tickets left, and apparently those sold fairly well. And welcome to all of you watching us on Twitch, because it was good to have that. And if you would like your league, as you get back into play, to broadcast similar to this on the mighty power of the WFTDA's Twitch channel, then you should look into the Remote Studio. Remote Studio can get your games to a global audience with as little as a smartphone. So no matter your location or budget, get streaming with the Remote Studio. Just contact broadcast at quadmedia.tv. Check out the Broadcasting for Beginners resources at WFTDA.tv. And you can have announcers from Seattle and Chicagoland and Baton Rouge talking about your roller derby in Denver, or, I don't know, Poughkeepsie, wherever you happen to be.
I do appreciate our mix of accents here. Scott's West Coast, Kick's Midwest, my Southern.
Oh,
You gotta play
I
it
don't
up
have
more,
one.
though.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
Oh, I do want to
you
give a
got
shout out to
music in
someone.
your voice.
I want to give a shout out to someone that is from Brazil watching us on the stream. I believe it was Guerrero Amandas. My screen has flowed up and I can't scroll backwards, but I just want to say thank you for tuning in from Brazil. That's exciting.
Yes. And I will mention as the bot has dropped in, subscribing does skip the ads. If you're getting ads in the middle of things and you're missing 28 Point Jams or me expounding about the powers of the Remote Studio, you just subscribe. You get one free subscription with your Prime service if you have Amazon Prime, and otherwise, a little subscribe, kick some money to the WFTDA for the broadcast, and then we can get back to roller derby, which we are doing right now with tacos. Man, it's getting to dinner time, and I keep talking about tacos. Tacos is lead jammer, as number 151 Smash jamming for the Mummies. Tacos
Yeah, the bats
cuts up
just
the inside.
doing. Oh yeah, cutting up the inside as you were saying, Scott. But also the bats are doing a great job at just maintaining the pack in the first straightaway. They're barely just making it to turn 2.
They are indeed, and they're also well in the lead now, 126 to 116, as we're down to 12 seconds to go in the period. Jam clock at 1 something, and the jam called off. Will we get a timeout and a final jam, or is this going to go? I'm guessing that's going to be it. And indeed,
Aww,
it is our
I
first
loved
game
it
of
so
the evening
much.
come to a close. That was a great game. Mummies going out well ahead in the first half. Early on, Bats come back with a monster jam that maybe no one got to see. Followed by the second half, back and forth, and now the Bats are your winners, 130 to 116.
Oh,
Wow,
except
Bats
there's
came
no
back with a
sweep.
vengeance.
Yes,
This was short and sharp.
it was. I mean, it was. Yeah, granted, a shorter game, right? We had 2 20-minute halves instead of 2 30-minute halves, but everybody seemed. I mean, seemed like nobody looked like they were getting super gassed out, and there you have some Bats who are now frozen in time and space. So it's sad when Denver just they stop time for a moment, so no one can go on.
It's the altitude.
Exactly. Yes. It's the altitude. It's October. It's probably blizzard there. I don't know. Denver weather is just weird.